rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Crystal Dial Wilson with Remedy Staffing. If your business is struggling to find employees, you likely know you're not alone. The unprecedented effect of COVID-19 on businesses has left everyone scrambling to find good people. We're proud to say we have helped fill thousands of positions throughout Jacksonville during the pandemic. We're dedicated to bringing great companies and great people together. If your business needs help or if you're looking for a good job, contact us now at remedygoodjobs.com. We want you on our team.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. The sports world keeps spinning and the local conversation continues. Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. In tonight for Rick Ballou from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. We are certainly glad you are with us. As always, Hacker After Dark is streaming for your viewing pleasure every night we are on. We are streaming on the 1010XL YouTube channel. Just go to 1010XL's YouTube channel. You'll see Hacker After Dark right there. Be sure and like and subscribe. We'll be streaming there tonight until 8 o'clock. Likewise, on my personal Twitter, at Ryan Green, 1010XL. That's at Ryan Green, 1010XL. Your guest lineup looks like this. We didn't intend for it to be this way, but it's kind of been a former Florida Gator week here on Hacker After Dark. Monday night, you had Major Wright. Last night, you had Dexter McNabb. Tonight, how about Ahmad Black? Ahmad Black was an All-American safety at the University of Florida, was a big, big part of that national championship defense in 2008. Ahmad Black back at his alma mater, doing a little high school coaching among many other things. We'll catch up with former Gator Ahmad Black coming up in about a half an hour or so, right about 6:30 or 6:35. In the 7 o'clock hour, we are almost 24 hours away from the NBA draft. So, of course, my college basketball buddy, the guy I always go to, he has forgotten more about college hoops than most people will ever know. That, of course, is Mark Wise of the ESPN family of networks. Mark is always kind enough to join me here on 1010XL, and he will do that at 7:15 this evening as we look at Jabari Smith of Auburn, Chet Holmgren Gonzaga, Paulo Banchero of Duke. Who will be the number one pick in the draft tomorrow night? We'll talk about that and much, much more with Mark Wise, including his initial 2.5, 3-month thoughts on Todd Golden and everything Todd Golden has done down in Gainesville to this point. That is coming up at 7:15. And later on in the 7 o'clock hour, it is our AFC West preview this week. We've already been to Kansas City. We will go to Las Vegas. We will go to Denver tonight. It's all about Los Angeles. The Chargers, my goodness, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, re-signing Mike Williams. They have done a lot in Los Angeles this offseason. Gilbert Manzano of the Orange County Register and the L.A. Daily News will join us in about 90 minutes or so, right about 7:30, as we take a look back on the Chargers offseason and a look ahead. Keep in mind, the Jaguars see them pretty early this year. I believe week 3, Jacksonville goes to Los Angeles to play Justin Herbert and the L.A. Chargers. But as always, on Hacker After Dark, when we kick things off, it's all about the big deal of the night, in this case, the early evening. So, Denmark, let's do it right now. Here is tonight's big deal of the evening.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
We brought this up last night. Tuesday night's our late show. Boy, if you haven't listened to a Tuesday night Hacker After Dark, you don't know what you're missing.
It's a thriller.
From 10 to midnight, are you kidding me? Denmark and I just lay down all sorts of 4 and 7 and 10-letter words. Some of them make me blush, quite frankly. The FCC changes all its rules after about 11 o'clock, so that is some good stuff. But we brought this up about 11:30 last night. But I get the feeling, Denmark, after doing this for about 20 years, that the audience right now is probably a little different than the audience was at 11:30 last night. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. So let me bring it back to the table because it's an interesting conversation. You know, we come on 1010XL and 92.5 FM every single day, and at some point in the show, regardless of which show, whether it's The Drill, Jaguars Today, Primetime, Frangie, Baloo, Hacker After Dark, we're going to talk Jacksonville Jaguars. It's what we do. No matter the year, the Jaguars are always top of mind. But we always talk about the same guys, right? Trevor Lawrence, Trayvon Walker, Christian Kirk, Josh Allen. I mean, go on, Brandon Scherf. All the big money guys, all the guys that are appreciated, the guys that really need to step up and really need to make an impact here in 2022. I want to talk about guys that are underappreciated. And we'll do this on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. May even open up the phone lines in a little bit as well to that same phone number, 641-1010. Coming into this year, a lot of expectations on the free agent class. The free agent class that got paid a heck of a lot of money this offseason. A lot of expectations on the rookie class. Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, certainly. Obviously, we know about the expectations on the likes of Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, Shaquille Griffin. But who are some of the more underappreciated guys? Who are the blue-collar guys, if you will? The guys that maybe we don't talk about as much as we should, but the guys that are going to have an impact on this year's team. And you can really divide it, obviously, by offense and defense. Offensively, let me give you a couple. Again, Trevor Lawrence is not a part of this conversation because he is not underappreciated. So you got to take those guys and put them to the wayside. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, basically every wide receiver we've talked about a lot this offseason. Tonight I want to kick things off by talking about Ben Bartch. I think that's a prime candidate for one of the more underappreciated guys on this roster. Ben Bartch started his college football career as a tight end. He then bulked up and gained like 65 pounds, drinking those gnarly protein shakes that we talked a lot about during his draft process that included scrambled eggs, peanut butter, grits, Gatorade, just very, very odd stuff. But then he moved to left tackle his final 2 years in college. The Jaguars draft him. Never plays tackle here. Starts out at right guard, spelling A.J. Cann, replacing A.J. Cann. But now that the Jaguars have signed Brandon Scherf, an all-pro right guard, Ben Bartch is just going to move to left guard. And I love how nonchalantly we say that. Ben Bartch has never played left guard in his life. And we just pencil him right in. That, to me, is a guy that is underappreciated. You go from left tackle your senior year in college to right guard in the NFL to left guard in the NFL in a span of 3 years. And you have no hesitation as a Jaguar fan or a Jaguar media member in saying that Ben Bartch is going to be really in the competition to start or at worst be the sixth offensive lineman for this team. That is a guy that probably does not get enough due. Tyler Shatley would be another one. Now, I don't know if he's going to win the job, but do you realize Tyler Shatley is the longest tenured Jacksonville Jaguar? The guy was drafted by Gus Bradley. The guy played for Gus Bradley. He then played for Doug Marrone. He then played for Urban Meyer. And now he's going to play for Doug Peterson. I would have to guess, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I can't imagine there being another one. Tyler Shatley has to be the only Jaguar that will have played for 4 different head coaches for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, heck, the Jaguars have only had, Coughlin, Del Rio, Malarkey. They've had 7 permanent head coaches. I'm not counting Mel Tucker's interim status. 7 permanent head coaches. Shatley's played for 4 of them. That's an underappreciated guy. If you say, well, the offensive line's not sexy enough for you, all right, I'll give you another one. How about Dan Arnold? To me, I think Dan Arnold is an underappreciated guy. He came in here last year in the C.J. Henderson trade. Jaguars won that trade. Jaguars won that trade in a big way. Basically, you end up with Dan Arnold and Chad Muma, who the Jaguars took with Carolina's pick, for C.J. Henderson. Now, Dan Arnold got hurt last year, but I got to tell you, with the addition of Evan Ingram, who admittedly has gotten far more coverage media-wise than Dan Arnold this offseason, but with those two together in a two tight end set and Doug Peterson's offense, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm telling you, if you guys haven't heard me in the nighttime, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the more elder, wiser Hacker in the evening than I was on prime time. But I am so much more glass half full on this roster than I normally was on previous Jaguar teams. Look, I'm not being as naive as to say they're going to win the division or go to the playoffs. No. But I think this is a 7-win team. Maybe if they get lucky, 8 wins competing for a wild card spot. But it's guys like Ben Bartch. It's guys like Tyler Shatley. It's guys like Dan Arnold that are going to have to step up. Look, you're counting on Ingram and Kirk and Etienne and Trevor and all these guys. Those are the appreciated guys. Those are the guys that we have to have succeed. The guys that you don't think about also need to play a big part, like Bartch, like Dan Arnold. I'll give you another one. And we've talked about him a lot, but I don't know if he's appreciated. Is Laviska Shenault appreciated in this town? The rumors were they were looking to deal him, or at least taking calls about trading him. Again, we would have to go to the stats book on this. Maybe I'll look it up when I have time this evening or tomorrow. Laviska Shenault, his first 2 years as a Jaguar, has caught 121 passes. Now, some of you will say, well, it's a 3-yard down and out and a 2-yard button hook and a screen pass. Yeah, it is. I don't care. He's caught 121 passes in 2 NFL years. And we talk about this guy like he's a second-round bust. Does he drop the football too much? Yes, he does. Is he, at times, a guy that looks like you could upgrade? At times, yes. But then there are other times where Laviska Shenault looks dynamic out there. I think that is also a guy the Jaguars take for granted. And by the way, Jaguar fans, take for granted. And by the way, again, go to the positive Hacker here, the glass half full Hacker on this roster. The Jaguars have 5 guys entering this season that caught 46 or more NFL passes last year. The 4 wide receivers, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, Christian Kirk, and you add Evan Ingram to that. 5 guys that caught 46 or more passes in the National Football League last year. Dare I say there's not many teams that have that quantity in their wide receiver / tight end room. That's a lot of catches. Say what you will about the free agent haul of Jones, Ingram, and Kirk. Those 3 caught 170 passes last year, combined, for almost 2,000 yards. It's a lot of NFL productivity that the Jaguars brought in here this offseason. So those would be my offensive underappreciated guys. Laviska Shenault, Ben Bartch, Dan Arnold, Tyler Shatley, Jamal Agnew. Is Agnew appreciated? He's a special teams guy. The guy at one point last year was probably the most dynamic downfield wide receiver. He's coming off an awful hip injury. By all accounts, he's doing well in recovery. But I don't know if we talk about Jamal Agnew, at least offensively, the way we probably should. That one catch he made last year, what game was that? Was that Indianapolis? You want to talk about the toe drag swag on NFL Network? It was ridiculous that Jamal Agnew got both feet in on that play. He then had the 75-yard touchdown on with the reverse. We all remember the 109-yard field goal return against Arizona. We're not talking about Jamal Agnew very much at all on offense. I think we probably should. Defensively, again, not as sexy. Josh Allen is appreciated. All the free agents, all the rookies. But what about the meat and potatoes guys? The Roy Robertson Harrises of the world. The Malcolm Browns of the world. I'll give you one, DeJuan Smoot. I like DeJuan Smoot. I like DeJuan Smoot a lot. You combine him with Arden Key, combine them with Josh Allen. The Jaguars have 3 defensive players that had 6 sacks or more last year. We did this a couple of weeks after free agency. There were 9 playoff teams in 2021, 9 of the 14 coming into the 2022 season that could not say they had 3 guys on their roster with 6 or more sacks. Jaguars have that with Arden Key, Dwan Smoot, and Josh Allen. You know, linebacker-wise, I think every one of those is appreciated. We've talked a lot about Devin Lloyd, talked a lot about Chad Muma. Certainly, Oluokun led the league in tackles. He's a brand-new Jaguar there from Atlanta. In the secondary, though, Tyson Campbell. Well, I got to tell you, too, Darius Williams. You know, you talk so much about Kirk and Jones and Ingram and Scherf and Fatukasi and Oluokun. Darius Williams is bringing a Super Bowl ring with him. Back home, remember he played at Creekside High School. And then in the secondary, Andre Sisco, Daniel Thomas, Rayshon Jenkins. What about Rudy Ford? Remember last year there was about a month stretch where Rudy Ford was like one of the most dynamic defensive guys the Jaguars had? Where is he going to fit in this year in 2022? I got to tell you, when we start doing our 53-man rosters, we start putting this together on paper. And again, this could all blow up in our face. It could blow up in my face. They could go to Washington and get boat raced in the opener, just like they got boat raced last year in Houston. But for the here and now, on paper, this roster is clearly the best it's been to me since at least 2018. Might not be saying much, but that's the best roster in 4 years. Obviously an improvement off of where they've been. Can we give Trent Baalke credit for that yet? Too soon? Still got to get the clown makeup off? Let me know. Let me know when we give Trent Baalke credit for what he's doing to this roster. Because on paper, I kind of like it. 641-1010 is the phone number. If you want to get involved on the phone line or on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, you are more than welcome to do so. With Dylan Denmark, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Ahmad Black, former Florida Gator. He is 20 minutes away. Coming up next, I want to get into the world of college football. I want to talk about Florida, Florida State, Miami, among others. Not only for 2022, but looking ahead to 23, 24, 25. And why this power rankings list, this future power rankings list that ESPN.com put out last night is exactly what is wrong with college football. That's next. Hacker After Dark in for Baloo. 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out.
This is not the old Jaguars team. We're not pushovers, so we're going to fight back.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
The next time you have an orthopedic injury, call Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. That's what we do. I'm Bob Arablo, president of Your Jacksonville Icemen. We've been using them to take care of our athletes, and you can rely on them to take care of yours.
This is Dr. George Acevedo of Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Thanks to all of the athletes who ask us to help them get back on their feet.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If you've been injured, your insurance company may try to downplay your pain. I'm Holt Harrell, and making sure that you are compensated is what I do. Don't deal with insurance companies alone. Call me, 251-1111. Harrell & Harrell, offices Jacksonville.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Honestly, this is one of the best jobs I've had.
Drivers and mechanics, listen up. Waste Management is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for job opportunities at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
There's so much more to Waste Management than what you think it is.
Waste Management offers steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous food and tool allowance.
Plus industry-leading benefits, like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and your home every day.
The benefits were great. They're the best I've seen in a long time.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics apply online today at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
We are WM.
Hey, sales leaders and business owners. If you manage a revenue-generating team, your financial success depends on their performance. And if you're interested in a reliable process to manage, strategize, and coach your team to increase results, we may be able to help. We're Sandler Training North Florida. Visit our website, solutions.sandler.com, and request a free consultation. Motivate your team to increase financial success with Sandler Training North Florida. Sandler Training, 646-1900.
Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, and today's spot is dedicated to quality. You've come to expect fresh, never frozen, quality, delicious sandwiches, salads, and subs from Dandy. When it comes to grab-and-go sandwiches, if it doesn't say Dandy on the front, chances are it was made somewhere else, tossed in a freezer, then shipped in alongside the chicken nuggets. Not exactly fresh and not exactly quality. So the next time you're out and about, stop in at a gate and pick up your favorite and taste real quality while making yours a dandy today.
I'm Dr. West, urologist at the McKeever Clinic. June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Guys, don't skip your routine health screenings. These are important to help your doctor catch potential problems early. Visit McKeeverClinic.com for more information.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 22, 2009, in the U.S. Open men's golf, Lucas Glover wins his only major title, 2 strokes ahead of David Duval and Phil Mickelson.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Want to talk to Hacker? Phone lines are open at 641-1010. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
22 minutes after the 6 o'clock hour. Glad you're with us in for Rick Ballou tonight. Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Boy, they're right on with this, Denmark. I was really worried a few months ago about the ketchup shortage that was reported. So we went out and got a bunch of ketchup at the house. Never came to fruition. But apparently there is about to be a sriracha shortage. So I need to stock up on that as well. I appreciate the 874 bringing that to my attention, that sriracha, the shortage is coming. Need to stock up on that. And I love this. We got to make a note of this. We got to take this. This is something we need to put in front of advertisers. Are you kidding me? The 537. Need to have a new segment here on Hacker After Dark with this newfound positivity that I have in the evenings called the Glass Hack Full. That is what I'm talking about, man. Every night I'll just give you my positive thought, the Glass Hack Full on Hacker After Dark. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. What I am positive about in a big way, big way, Saturday night, Veterans Memorial Arena, the 23rd annual Guns and Hoses. You got the FOP on one side, the Jacksonville Firefighters on the other. It is an absolutely terrific night. I will be a judge down there again. I want to say this is year 10 for me being a judge at Guns N' Hoses. It's my wife's favorite night of the year. Heidi absolutely loves it. We got a bunch of buddies going. It is a good time. If you've never been to Guns N' Hoses, I can't recommend it enough. In fact, we got a couple of combatants. They're going to join us tomorrow and Friday. We're also going to have my buddy Carl Graham of the FOP joining us tomorrow to talk about Guns N' Hoses in the 23rd edition. But I'll tell you what, we're givers here on Hacker After Dark. Are you kidding me? We're on 2 hours earlier. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals is tonight in Tampa. I'm in a very good mood. Let's give tickets away right now. If you want to go to Guns N' Hoses downtown at the arena Saturday night, we have two pairs. Be callers 3 and 4 right now at 641-1010. And Dylan Denmark, the pride of Denmark, will hook you up with a pair of tickets to caller 3 and caller 4 right now. If you want to go to Guns N' Hoses, 641-1010. In the world of college football, did a lot of NFL earlier on. We will continue doing a lot of NFL. But I saw something last night. Just kind of ruffled my feathers a little bit. Bothered me a little bit. And that's on ESPN.com. And it's not their fault because they're right. It's bad when your feathers get ruffled when you're reading something that you know is correct. Every year, before the season starts, they do a future college football power ranking. Who's going to be the best team, not only for this year, but based on recruiting, based on what's in the pipeline. They're going to be the best teams for 2023, 2024, and 2025. And you'll never guess who's number 1 on this list. Wow, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Real shocking who's number 2 on this list. Wow, the Georgia Bulldogs. Stop me if you've heard this before. Number 3 on the college football future power rankings. The Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, maybe a little bit of a change at number 4. They got Texas A&M. I agree with that. If those 5 stars are anything like they should be, Jimbo got 8 of them this past year. Rounding out the top 5, the Clemson Tigers. There is simply no parity in college football. None whatsoever. We know that, though, right? We still love it. It's funny how college football works. This is something I've really thought about this offseason. There's no parity of the 130-plus Division I teams. Right now, 120 of them basically know they have no chance of winning the national championship. And even 10 might be generous. Are there 10 college football teams right now that behind closed doors truly believe they can win the national title? Maybe. I mean, seriously, though, think about it. In the SEC, who thinks they can win the national title this year? Alabama, Georgia, maybe A&M, but they're living in fantasy land if they do. In the ACC, who believes they can win the national title this year? Clemson? Miami, I think you'll be better, but you're living in fantasy land if you think you can win the national title. Tell you this, though. I got Eric McLean coming on later in the week from the ACC Network. He is very, very high on North Carolina State. Very high on North Carolina State. Could the Wolfpack this year be that surprise team? Big Ten, who can win the national title? Michigan? Pfft, come on. Ohio State can. Could Penn State this year? Pac-12, is it too early for Lincoln Riley? Big 12, can Oklahoma replace Lincoln Riley? You get the point, right? I bet you there are 10 or maybe even less teams that can win the title. And we know that on June 22nd. The season is still 2+ months away. But despite the lack of parity, we love college football. I'm right there with you. You kidding me? My Saturday afternoons, I turn on College Game Day at 9 a.m., and I don't leave the television till Pac-12 after dark. I'm there for 15 hours, man. I eat it up. I love it. I'll tell you another thing. As sure as the sun will rise over the last 30 years, Gator fans, you knew you were playing basically the same teams every year with very little change. You play 12 games. Roughly what? 6 of them, no, I guess 7, right? With Florida State. are the same game every year. You play Kentucky, you play South Carolina, you play Vanderbilt, you play Tennessee, you play Georgia, you play LSU, you play Florida State. For the last decade, you've played Missouri. 4 games switch every year, but usually you're playing directional school U. By the way, all that is going to change when Texas and Oklahoma join the conference. Then we will legitimately see a big shift in the schedule. But, Gator fan, you love college football, so you don't really worry about it. You know you're going to beat up on Vanderbilt every year. You know you're going to have to play Kentucky and South Carolina every year. You just kind of accept it. It is what it is. But I really, really don't like the lack of parity. That bothers me. And that's why I so desperately want a 12-team playoff. Even though I don't know if parity will improve with a 12-team playoff, it at least gets more people in the running. It at least gets more teams in the game. Right now in the Southeastern Conference Western Division, if you're Arkansas, if you're Auburn, if you're LSU, if you're Ole Miss, if you're Mississippi State, probably A&M too. I don't think they're going to be as good as they think they're going to be. You basically have no chance because you got to beat Alabama with the way college football is right now to have any shot of getting in the playoff. In a 12-teamer, you don't have to beat Alabama necessarily. Again, will it water it down? Well, who knows? But I'm tired of seeing the same teams in the playoff every year. Your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Oklahomas, your Ohio States, an occasional Notre Dame, an occasional, Michigan State. You basically have 3 of the same teams every year, and the 4th team is a rotator between the Notre Dames or the Oklahomas of the world. That's why I hope the 12-team thing happens. And I understand the logistics and the money, and look, Matt Hayes on Primetime does a terrific job breaking this down and why it's going to land where it's going to land. But if it were up to me, if I was the czar of college football, if I was the commissioner overseeing the landscape of college football, folks, it shouldn't be that difficult. You have a 12-team playoff. You have a Power 5, right? They call them the Power 5 conferences. Absolutely. Well, those 5 conference champions, the 5 teams that win those championship games on Championship Saturday, guess what? Those are 5 of your 12. I don't care if that's Florida with a 9-3 record ranked 17th in the country that upsets Alabama. You should be rewarded for winning the Power 5 conference championship that you're in. So that's 5 of your 12. The next 5 are at-large teams. If Alabama's number 1 in the SEC championship game and loses, well, they'd still get one of the 5 at-large bids. And then the other 2 are group of 5 teams. The 2 best group of 5, period, done. There's your 12. 5 Power 5 champions, 5 Power 5 at-larges, your 2 best group of 5. And you could find flaw with anything, and I'm sure people will find flaw with that. And if you tell me your scenario, I'll find flaw with yours. And that's what's beautiful about Sports Talk Radio. That's what makes the world go round. But the lack of parity that we see continuously in college football, maybe NIL will solve it. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's solving much right now. Look at the top of the recruiting rankings. Look what Ohio State is doing in recruiting right now. They are scorching the earth in recruiting. You know Alabama will be up there. You know Georgia will be up there. A&M is establishing themselves up there. It's the same teams every year getting the same guys, even with NIL. So I don't think that's going to level the playing field. That's why I would just like to see the playing field opened up more to teams that can qualify for a chance to win the national championship. A guy that did win a national championship during his playing days in college is Ahmad Black. He was an All-American safety at the University of Florida, was a big, big part of that Gator defense in 2008. Went on to have a pretty decent NFL career. He's now back at his alma mater, back at Lakeland High School, as one of their defensive coaches. I want to talk with Ahmad Black about a couple of things. He's got a couple of interesting things in the work that I want you to hear about. But I'm going to ask him flat out 2 questions. Number 1, he played for Urban Meyer at Florida. is he surprised Urban Meyer blew up so badly here last year? And number 2, Billy Napier. What does Ahmad Black, a former Gator All-American, think about the job Billy Napier is doing in Gainesville? Gator fans, I think you'll find it very interesting. Ahmad Black, former Gator safety. Next, Hacker After Dark. It is a Wednesday night. We are in for Rick Ballou in Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
What's the deal with the show? Around town, around the world. Take 1010XL with you wherever you go.
Everyone can hear.
Download our free app for Apple and Android devices. Search 1010XL where you get your apps.
Hi, this is Curtis Howes, used car buyer from Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville. A lot of you already know me and wondering why I'm on your radio. Well, it's because I want to buy your car. That's right. The used car market has been crazy high for over a year, and you would be surprised at what your car is worth. It's easy. Just send me some pictures of your car, the vehicle identification number, and the current miles, and I will give you a quote. It's that simple. You can call me right now at 833-500-0059. That's 833-500-0059. Don't wait too long. These prices will not remain this high forever, and you don't want to miss it.
As a business owner, it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Spot On works with local restaurants to get them set up with the technology needed to stay competitive and made specifically for you. Spot On is a cloud-based point-of-sale system that takes orders and payments, but also addresses labor constraints by increasing efficiencies through handhelds and QR code technology. Call me, Jamie Watson, at 333-4325 or email me at jwatson@spoton.com. I'm here to help.
First Coast families, join the Jacksonville Sharks Friday, June 24th for Superhero and Education Appreciation Night as we honor all of our educators and school employees. Let's make some noise as the first 1,500 fans in attendance will receive free inflatable Thunder Sticks. Are you a teacher or school employee? Enjoy a buy one, get one free ticket offer. Call now for tickets, 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
In the next 30 seconds, 50 people will get their dream job.
Yes.
Across the country. And as they're thinking about the flights, the first impressions, and how to ship their plants, they'll be faced with their biggest challenge.
I've got to sell the house and fix it and stage it and show it.
Or skip the hassles and sell directly to Opendoor. Close in a matter of days. Get back to the things that matter, like how to ship those plants. Get your competitive offer at opendoor.com/beopen. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage Inc. License 02061130 in California and Opendoor Brokerage LLC in its other markets.
Michelob Ultra is rolling out a very cool competition, and you're invited to compete. It's the Ultra Top Score at Topgolf every Thursday afternoon through June, 2 to 4 p.m. Absolutely free to play. Just head to Topgolf and look for the Michelob Ultra Bays. They'll set the targets, and you try and score with 20 shots. You got a chance to be named the best in Jacks and move on to the regional finals. It's Mich Ultra's Top Score competition at Topgolf every Thursday through June, 2 to 4 p.m. Can you post the Ultra Top Score at Topgolf? Go hit it.
Hicken here for Roof It Right. You know the drill. Hey, that's our show. Don't let anyone touch your roof until you got a quote from my friends at Roof It Right. Storm season right around the corner. Get prepared now with an inspection from Jacksonville's Master Elite Roofer and sleep easy, knowing your home is protected by the area's best materials and best warranties. There's a lot of roofers here in town. Roof It Right is the company I trust. Schedule your estimates today at roofitRightFL.com. That's roofitRightFL.com and see why your friends and neighbors say, Roof It Right, so you can sleep at night.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and we've seen electric cars, but you're telling me now that the motorcycle world and the off-road world has gone electric.
It's coming, and it's coming fast. We've got the all-new Volcon Grunt in stock, a couple of Honda dirt bikes in stock that are electric, and we've also got some side-by-sides coming that are electric. And it's got plenty of range to have plenty of fun all day long.
That means you've got all the energy you need to go out there and have a blast.
Keep you busy all day.
So check out the electric line that's going on right now, Cycles of Jacksonville, on Atlantic, near Regency, cyclesofjacksonville.com.
Let's see if they can sit tight on the Roof It Right hot seat. Hot seat with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Players and NFL experts join Mike and Tony 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL. Roof It Right. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Now.
Hello.
Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, the calendar is getting ever so close to the month of July. SEC Media Days inside of a month from now. And before you know it, the college football season will be here. Let's catch up with one of my favorites. He was a big part of the Gator National Championship run in 2008, a former All-American at the University of Florida, Ahmad Black, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ahmad, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
Hey, Ahmad, we are good, man. Thank you for the time. And I was telling you earlier, we had Major Wright on earlier this week. Thought we would get you on as well. You guys are kind of connected at the hip with Gator Nation, man. When you think of Ahmad Black, you kind of think of Major Wright. When you think of Major Wright, you kind of think of Ahmad Black. But you also mentioned Joe Hayden, Janoris Jenkins, Will Hill. Man, that was quite a secondary that you guys had there in Gainesville during your playing days.
Yeah, man, it was awesome just to, every day work on your craft with some of the guys who are top in the nation. And, that's what we thrived on and made us better each and every day and, ultimately made us a better football team.
Certainly those were the glory days of Gator football, at least for the last, quarter century plus. Ahmad, since you guys left, obviously Gator football has been on some down times. We'll get to that in a moment. But what are your fondest memories about that title run in 2008? 2009 was a great run as well. What do you remember the most about that time?
It's more of the things that people don't see. It's the things that, in the locker room and, being with the guys and going to class and just hanging out in between classes is what we miss the most. Obviously we go there to win and play football games and, all that type of things. But, when we get around and talk with each other, we talk about the things that people didn't see. And I think that was the greatest part about that team.
Ahmad, keep in mind, we're here in Jacksonville, so I got to ask you, you were recruited by and you played for Urban Meyer, won a national championship with Urban as your head coach in Gainesville. Obviously, he came here last year, and quite frankly, it was a disaster for many, many reasons. As a former player that played for Urban, were you surprised at the struggles he had in the National Football League a year ago?
Not necessarily pointed to him. Look at all the history of coaches coming from college to going into the NFL. It's kind of a hard process. Some of the greatest coaches that we've seen in the college football game has gone to the NFL game and struggled. So, not necessarily, want to point fingers at Urban. We could look at Nick Saban, we could look at Spurrier, the list goes on and on. But, it's just a hard process and, going from the college game to the NFL, just getting acquainted with everything is difficult. And, guys have struggled with that a lot. So I'm curious to see if guys are going to still want to make that move, when they have some success in college. And it's going to be interesting to see what the coach's mindset is, going from one game to the next.
Former Florida All-American safety Ahmad Black here with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Ahmad, in that same token, now Dan Mullen was an offensive guy, but he was on the staff when you were there in Gainesville. He took over as the Gator head coach, had some good years. New Year's Six bowl games, and then it kind of blew up in Gainesville last year. They didn't win a road game. They were 2-6 in the conference. Were you surprised at how quickly it went south for Dan Mullen at your alma mater?
Yeah, absolutely. We thought Dan was the guy, and he did some phenomenal things coming in, and it's just the little things that, he didn't do very well that start to blow up when you don't win, right? And I think that's what happened. When you win football games, some things like that get covered up, right? And when you start losing, people want to figure out why. So, Dan's a great guy, and I love Dan to death. Outside of football and whatnot, and we built a personal relationship. Obviously, he was my coach, and when he was the head coach, I would go up a lot. But at Florida, it's tough to be a head coach there, man. If you don't win, they move on. So.
Ahmad, I want to get to Billy Napier in just a moment. Certainly want your thoughts on what he's doing in Gainesville to this point. But I think back to your title team in 2008, the title team in 2006, and whether it was Tebow, Percy Harvin, Spikes, you, Major Wright, the Pouncey twins, Joe Hayden. I mean, you can go on down the line. All-American after All-American after All-American. Nobody talked about facilities back then. Nobody talked about lack of recruiting back then. And maybe it's because Urban was, on the recruiting trail constantly, like it appears Napier is now. But, man, after you guys left, Florida really started struggling in the recruiting game. Alabama went right by them. Georgia went right by them. Why do you think Florida started struggling attracting talent? Because certainly they did not have an issue doing that with your team.
That goes back to what we were just talking about. One of the things that they said that that Mullen struggled with was the recruiting aspect. And, nowadays that's very, very important. And when you don't recruit well and, you kind of blow it off, it shows, because teams that are recruiting well and isn't blowing it off will kick your butt. So, again, especially with the NIL deals and whatnot, it's going to be interesting in these next few years to see, what teams do as far as the recruiting and the NIL and how they tie it together, and how that changes the game moving forward.
I was joking around with Major Wright earlier this week. Can you imagine, and I'm sure you have many times, if NIL had been around during your time with you and Hayden and Major and the Pounceys and Tebow, and good grief, y'all would have been raking it in. Do you ever wonder, man, I was 15 years too early?
Yeah, man. It's a long time coming. I'm proud of these guys for being able to maximize on their abilities and what they're capable of doing as far as getting people to the games and cheering for them and whatnot. I think it's great to obviously be able to compensate these guys for all the money that they bring into these schools. I hear guys all the time say, hey, they're changing the game and we shouldn't do this and that. Well, would you go to work and not be paid? Would you let somebody basically represent you and put you on video games and make millions of dollars off of you, and then you get zero money from it? That's not fair. So, yes, it is kind of changing the game, but that's something that we have to get hip to with this new generation.
Ahmad Black was an All-American safety at the University of Florida. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. All right, Ahmad, Billy Napier has been on the job over 6 months now. He finally will get on the field here in about 2.5 months when Utah comes in Labor Day weekend. But as a former Gator great, what have you seen out of Coach Napier, and what have you liked or disliked to this point?
Coach Napier has been awesome, man. I'm the DB coach actually down in Lakeland. So I was the MC for the Lakeland Football Banquet, which is a huge event down here every year. They always have guest speakers from, Mullen to Urban to Clemson's head coach. Every year it's just a full-blown event where they just, recognize all the guys and their accomplishments from that previous year. And this year was Billy Napier, and I got an opportunity to introduce him at the Lakeland Banquet and spend some time with him for a few minutes. And he seems like an awesome guy. And everyone I speak with says the same thing about him, is how awesome of a guy he is. And it's not just show, and everything that you see about him is him. So I'm excited to see what he does on the field. Everything he's doing off the field right now is phenomenal. But again, like I said before, we got to win, and that's what it all boils down to, right? Because if you're not winning, everything starts to break down.
Ahmad, you being back in Lakeland in the high school coaching scene now, the recruiting that Billy Napier has done, I see it firsthand here in Jacksonville. It's a different feel in Northeast Florida than when it comes to Gator recruiting than it was under McElwain or under Mullen. Are you seeing that down in Lakeland as well, Florida more in the game when it comes to recruiting?
Yeah, absolutely. He came off strong, so, man, we just got to keep it going. We had a pipeline here down with the Polk County guys, man, but we got to get that thing going. And one of the things that we got to instill in this new generation is the work, man. And, sometimes they see, competition or whatnot and, say, hey, I'm transferring. Well, that's not what we did in our day, right? So when you speak about the competition level and the guys playing now and you say, hey, back then you were getting great players. Well, all of us weren't great players. You think we stepped on the campus and was great players? No, we worked at it. And I think that's what guys right now aren't doing. I think they're afraid to get that work done to make them become better players. Because just imagine how good your team will be if the second and third string guys are really, really good. What do you think that makes the first string guy do? It makes him be really, really good. So that's what we got to instill in guys. I mean, when you see, you got competition or whatnot, man, stick your head in there and take your head on and fight.
Final moments here with Ahmad Black, former Florida safety, with us on 1010XL. Ahmad, what about this Gator football team in 2022? All the focus on Anthony Richardson. I'm curious, a guy like you who's played many, many really good quarterbacks in both college and the National Football League, what do you see when you see Anthony Richardson on tape?
Oh, he's phenomenal. I mean, the things that you can't coach, he has, right? And, the size, the speed, the athleticism, that's what every coach wants in their players is the things that they can't coach, right? Because that's the reason the coach is there, to teach you the things that, that you need to be taught. But, some things that you can't teach, like size and speed, it's always a plus to have in a player. And he has all the intangibles, right? Now we just got to put it all together. It's a long season. You just got to learn how to stay healthy, take care of your body. That's another thing that young guys have to learn how to do is take care of their bodies. And, when you're young, you can just wake up and play, right? And, as you get older, it's not like that, right? The game becomes more grittier. The guys become more bigger. The hits become more harder. And you got to start taking care of yourself. And, hopefully these guys pick that up quickly. Hopefully Anthony Richardson picks that up quickly because we need him for the entire season.
You obviously played against Cam Newton at some point in your career. That's kind of the comparison that you hear. I even heard Jameis Winston earlier this week from an NFL analyst when it comes to Anthony Richardson. But at his ceiling, Ahmad, could he be a Cam Newton-esque player?
Yeah, absolutely. With Cam, he, again, brings everything that you can't teach. I mean, I don't think Cam does anything as far as like throwing wise, he worked on his mechanics, but, running, jumping, bringing the energy that he brings, you can't teach that. And I think Anthony Richardson has all those capabilities of a Cam Newton, if not can be better.
As we wrap things up here with Ahmad Black, Ahmad, they dive right into it, man. It's not the Citadel or it's not, directional school U. I mean, it's the Pac-12 champions on opening weekend, followed by Kentucky, who beat you last year. How daunting a task do you think that'll be for Florida to dive right in this year and face those tough opponents?
It's gonna be interesting to see, how we attack this thing, and if we come out and get a couple wins on our belts and come out unscathed, man, it's gonna be interesting for the Gators.
All right, Ahmad, leave us with this, man. Gator Nation always curious as to what you guys are up to. You mentioned you're back coaching at your alma mater there at Lakeland. What else is Ahmad Black doing these days?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm in the promo and marketing industry. So, if anybody has, a company or, over the marketing at a company, we do like logoed items as far as like drinkware, apparel, screen printing, embroidery. And we have over 800,000 products, literally anything that you can freaking, think of. I mean, phone chargers, freaking headphones, like literally anything that you can put your logo on, I can do that. So if people, are looking to, having events or showcases or anything like that, that they want to promote their business or their brand with logo items, I can do that. So.
Ahmad, always enjoy the conversation, man. It was a joy to watch you play. A nice little NFL career for you, too, in Tampa. What about the Buccaneers this year with Tom Brady back? Are you fired up?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to the Lightning game last night, so I'm freaking I'm on a high right now of freaking hockey. But hopefully those guys can win, these next few games and be the three-peat Stanley Cup champions. So.
Hey, Ahmad, thank you for the conversation, man. We'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
There you go, Ahmad Black, former Gator safety. Caught up with him earlier this week on Hacker After Dark. And, yeah, look, he had a lot of nice things to say about Billy Napier, and I'm kind of getting that vibe, whether it's Major Wright, Dexter McNabb, Ahmad Black, these former Gators talking about Billy Napier. Every one of them really likes what they see. And I got to tell you, that was not always the case, particularly when Jim McElwain was hired with some of these former Gator players. So they're not just sugarcoating stuff. These guys will tell you what they think, and at least they like what they see out of Billy Napier. I've told you guys repeatedly over the last couple of weeks and months, I do not think Florida is going to have a good win-loss record this year. You see these prognostications from Athlon and Lindy's and all these preseason magazines that are out. You realize both Athlon and Lindy's have Florida finishing 4th in the East. 4th. They got Georgia winning it, and I think Athlon and Lindy's flip Kentucky and Tennessee in the 2 and 3 spot, but both of them have Florida number 4. That's nothing on Billy Napier. That's not an indictment on Billy Napier. That's an indictment on the lack of recruiting and what Dan Mullen left Billy Napier. I mean, when Billy Napier is holding court at a press conference for the last couple of months, every time he's in front of a microphone saying we're going to hit the transfer portal hard, well, there's a reason he's saying that. They needed players, man. They didn't have a lot in the cupboard. Starting 22, you can probably go to battle with a lot of teams. Where Florida is lacking are in players 23 through, say, 50. So I do think you're looking at a 7-5, 8-4-esque Gator team this year. Now, I think in 2023 and 2024, they'll be right back to where Gator fans expect. But, yeah, it would not surprise me at all. I mean, Utah, Kentucky, Tennessee, right out of the gate in your first 4. USF sandwiched in the middle. I mean, if you're 3-1 through that first 4, you should be doing backflips. I think 2-2 is possible. 1-3 is not out of the realm of possibility. Utah's good. And I know they're coming to Gainesville, but there's a reason that Utah is preseason top 15, sometimes preseason top 10 on all of these preseason polls. And it just floors me that Gator fans think they're just going to beat Utah like it's no problem. I think you guys might be in for a rude awakening. We'll see in a couple of months. That's the beauty of it. We'll have an answer sooner rather than later. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. It's halftime here on Hacker After Dark. We're in tonight for Rick Ballou until 8 o'clock. Coming up next, well, actually in about 20 minutes, Mark Wise of the ESPN family of networks, our college basketball guy, will dive into Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero. All the guys are going to get drafted very, very high tomorrow night in the NBA draft. Coming up after the top of the hour, we'll get back into the world of the National Football League. And boy, just a sad day in Baltimore. Sad day in the NFL. Hate to talk about stories like this, but those Baltimore Raven former players, current players, that organization, today was tough. If you haven't heard, we'll let you know, but it was a tough day in Baltimore. That's next on Hacker After Dark.
5, 4, 3, come on! 2.
Number 1 in the 904 1010 XL.
At Key Buick GMC, receive 0% financing up to 36 months on select GMCs, $500 off all new vehicles for all active, retired, enlisted, and previous military. Whenever you purchase a brand new vehicle from Key, whether it's a Buick or GMC, it always comes with that lifetime powertrain warranty. A full allotment is in now and available. So visit the good folks at Key Buick GMC right across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Joe C. here to tell you about First Coast Metal Roofing Supply. And if you're a roofing contractor and homeowner thinking about a metal roof, I hope you'll make First Coast Metal Roofing Supply your first call. They're local. They've been serving the First Coast since 1998, working with over 500 contractors, and you'll immediately notice the quality. They manufacture their own panels and trim to ensure the best pricing. Check them out. The people are the difference. Call First Coast Metal Roofing Supply or log on firstcoastmetalroofingsupply.com.
Hacker here for my friends at Xfinity with incredible news when it comes to internet. If you want it all like I do, there's a new way to save with Xfinity. Now get Xfinity Internet with unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free streaming box with your favorite entertainment, all for just $50 a month with a 2-year rate guarantee and no annual contract required. Look, switching to Xfinity has never been easier. It's risk-free, and you get all that Wi-Fi power your family needs for a house full of connected devices. And with everything you've got going on at home, you deserve internet that can keep up. This is a limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with a stored bank account. New fast internet customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra, and subject to change. Go to Xfinity.com. Call 1-800-XFINITY or do what I did and drop into an Xfinity store today.
Join us for one of the funnest nights of the year. Fight Night is back. It's the 23rd annual Guns N' Hoses local charity boxing between the firefighters and JSO, and you're going to love it. If you've not been to Guns N' Hoses, this is your year. Right now, tickets available. Arena box office, Ticketmaster.com, or at the FOP Lodge. But they're going to be banging gloves all night long. Saturday, June 25th, bell time 6:30, concert in the arena after. We'll see you at Guns N' Hoses.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Captain Kevin Favor here. From June 20th through June 28th, Tire Outlet is giving away 2 sets of 4 Jumbo Shrimp tickets to the Independence Day fireworks celebration game. Hurry over to Tire Outlet Facebook or Instagram for a chance to score today.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Tedeschi Trucks Band, Wheels of Soul 2022. The tradition continues. And the 7th annual tour, Friday, June 24th at Daly's Place. With special guests, Los Lobos, plus Gabe Dixon. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tedeschi Trucks Band, Wheels of Soul 2022.
WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
With your home value up again, you're sitting on a pile of money. Don't just let it sit there. Use it. Hey, it's Prosser here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Introducing Loan Pronto's Equity Line of Credit program. You don't have to refinance, but you can access up to 97% of your home's value. Get cash now to pay off all your credit cards or do that home improvement project. Get your down payment for a new home or stash away for a safety net. You can get $50,000, even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they could probably even waive the appraisal. Don't just let all that home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM machine and get that cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
I'm Hayes Carline, and what I say goes. Listen to my closing argument presented by the personal injury law firm of Harrell & Harrell weekdays on The Frangie Show. Can you handle the truth?
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
7 o'clock hour is upon us. Hacker After Dark until 8 o'clock tonight. In for Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Oh, Denmark, today was a big day. Today was a big, big day for yours truly. I don't know why this is the case. I mean, heck, you work at your alma mater, right?
Yeah, I was there today.
You're there all the time, a proud alum of Baldwin High School. Loved my time at Wolfson, but golly, I graduated 20 years ago, and I just never make it back over to Powers Avenue, not near as often as I should. It had been a couple of years, but I found myself over in that part of town today. So I said, what the heck? So I made that turn off of Phillips Highway, made that left onto Powers, went down past Wolfson High School. You want to talk about the emotions? Are you kidding me? Passing by that police substation that's still there, that was very exciting. But then I looked at the football stadium and I thought, man, the Wolf Den. It's where it all started for me. That was the sideline I stood on and rubbed dirt on my white jersey to make it look like I played, even though I didn't when I got moved up to varsity my sophomore year. That's what it was all about, man. Loved passing. Look, school looked good. School
Anything look
really
different?
Good.
Anything look different?
No, I mean, I just went around the front and you know, saw the junior parking lot out there in front of the football stadium. But the portables, I believe I saw, were still out there. Remember Mr. Ward's class, Portable 8, Algebra 1 and 2.
How do you remember that?
I'm weird, man. Mr. Ward was the man. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that went to Wolfson that had Mr. Ward for math. That guy was awesome. But, yeah, I'm weird. I remember odd things like that. But, yeah, it was good to see the alma mater. Good. Looks like they're doing some construction over there now, and things are going well.
Yeah, you know who they play week 1, right?
Who Wolfson plays week 1? I do not.
They play us.
Why are you? Wait a minute. Hold the phone here. Are you telling me it's Wolfson and Baldwin? It's Hacker After Dark
in the Wolf Den
Bowl at the Wolf Den.
Yep.
Holy moly!
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk to some people. We got to set it up. We got to do pep talks. Maybe you and I can be out there for the opening coin toss. Be honorary coaches for the first half before we have to come back and do the Friday Night Lights post game. You guys are going to beat us about 50-0, but it'll be fun in the pregame anyway to be out there and get all the emotions of week 1. By the way, all kidding aside, year 16 of the Friday Night Lights post game is creeping up on us, man. We're only about 2 months away, about 8 more Fridays until we will be with you every Friday night for the Friday Night Lights post game here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. To get serious for a minute, like to have fun here on Hacker After Dark. It's what we do. What a bad day in Baltimore today for the Ravens organization. Good grief. You wake up this morning, you see the passing of Jalen Ferguson, a linebacker for Baltimore, only 26 years old. Don't really know any of the specifics yet, although I believe they've already ruled out foul play. But that's just awful. I mean, anytime, you know, an athlete in their prime like that passes away, horrible. So Baltimore was already having an awful, awful day. And then come to find out within the last, 3 hours here this afternoon, that Tony Siragusa passed away today as well at the age of 55. Boy, I loved Tony Siragusa. I loved everything about Tony Siragusa. I remember him on the Indianapolis Colts team. What was that, in 1994 when they went into Arrowhead and beat Kansas City? And he's screaming at the TV cameras, nobody wants us in the playoffs, running off the field. He was obviously a big part of the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl win in 2000. Ray Lewis will always tell you, with Tony Siragusa and Sam Adams in the middle of that Raven defense, you couldn't move them. I mean, you had 700 pounds, basically, of defensive tackle. Offensive linemen could not get to the next level. So not that Ray Lewis wasn't good enough to begin with, but when you have Siragusa and Adams eating up 3 offensive linemen every play, Ray Lewis had free reign to annihilate running backs and wide receivers all over the field. So Siragusa was a big part of what the Ravens did. Again, only 55 years old. I mentioned this on Twitter. I met Tony Siragusa twice. One was the Super Bowl in 2006. I think it was January of 2007. It was the Colts and the Bears Super Bowl where Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. I saw Tony Siragusa at one of the media things we went to. Also saw him on Radio Row. And then I saw him here in Jacksonville, golly, probably 4 or 5 years ago for something. I forget why he was even here. I don't even think it was football season. But in any event, I spent about 10 or 15 minutes with him then as well. He was just like the guy you saw on television. He was funny. He was genuine. He was the life of the party. But at the end of the day, man, the guy was just a cool dude. He was a nice guy. And really hated to see that. So prayers up to our friends in Baltimore today, not only for Jalen Ferguson's passing this morning, but for Tony Siragusa's passing this evening. Again, way, way too young. I know Leon Searcy, he'll probably talk about it tomorrow on primetime, played a year with Tony Siragusa in Baltimore. Leon joined the Ravens after that Super Bowl run that Baltimore had, and Leon has some fantastic Tony Siragusa stories. So to all of Goose's teammates, and you can tell, Denmark, how much a guy meant to you when it wasn't an hour after the announcement of his passing. You had Ray Lewis, you had Brian Billick, you had Marvin Lewis, you had Sam Adams, you saw Matt Stover, the kicker. All the guys on that team immediately went to social media to give their condolences and give their thoughts to Tony Siragusa and his family. That's a pretty clear indicator of what a guy meant to them. So again, rest in peace to Goose. Tony Siragusa, dead today at the age of 55. Not an easy transition from that, but certainly wanted to mention those two pieces of news. Again, sad stories all the way around. But we will transition. We will get it back to the world of sports. It's what we do here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We are about 24 hours away. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the NBA draft at the Barclays Center. My beloved Orlando Magic have the number 1 pick in the draft. Will it be Jabari Smith of Auburn? Will it be Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga? What about Paolo Banchero of Duke? A lot of options for Orlando. Let's talk to a guy that saw all of those guys this year, a guy that is Mr. College Basketball to me. I love having him on. I've had him on for years. That is my friend Mark Wise of the ESPN family of networks. Let's talk to Mark about all the prospects that are going to go high in tomorrow night's draft and what he would do if he was the Orlando Magic. Mark Wise is next on Hacker After Dark.
Something's coming on with the computer. Are you receiving my signal? Speak into the microphone, Squid Brain.
He says he's found the main controls to the power beam pier.
10, XL.
It's summertime and the beach is calling your name. Chris here with Sliders Oyster Bar at Neptune Beach. I want to invite you all to our newly renovated, family-owned restaurant that I guarantee you will only be served the freshest seafood in Jacksonville. My family and I wanted to see that our beaches community only gets the best, so we built you the best. Tons more seating, upgraded kitchen, fully stocked bar, and of course, fresh oysters. Come see us at Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, locally owned and operated by Safe Harbor Seafood.
Congratulations to Exit Real Estate Gallery and their continued support of the Jacksonville Jaguars. As a proud partner since 2016, Exit's unwavering commitment to the Jaguars illustrates their commitment to the North Florida community. A trusted local leader in real estate, Exit's footprint spans throughout the region with 7 offices and over 400 realtors to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to sell, buy, or rent local real estate, an Exit agent is always available to assist.
Upgrade your grilling game to amazing meals with a new high-quality grill from Caladad Grills. Why Caladad? It means quality. Expert grills that stand apart from the crowd, like Traeger, Kamado Joe, and Napoleon. In stock today and built to last. Why Caladad? It's a local family business, so they'll save you money and time with free delivery. Stop by Caladad Grills at the end of Cumberland Park Drive, just off County Road 210. Caladad, they make it easy for you to grill like a pro.
Call me, Mark Anajar, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
When choosing the right septic tank installation company, choose wisely. Duck Duck Rooter is the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. They're fully licensed and insured. From installing septic tanks, dosing tanks, drain fields, to getting required permits, you want the best in the business. Trust your septic project to Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
In 1921, U.S. Marine Corps surgeon Dr. Robert McKeever established the first urologic practice in Florida, the McKeever Clinic. I'm Dr. West. 100 years later, we continue to carry on his life's work in providing complete urologic care in Jacksonville. We have 13 board-certified urologists with many areas of expertise to provide the highest level of care for both men and women. Visit McKeeverClinic.com to learn more about how we can help. McKeever Clinic, innovators in urologic care since 1921.
Leon Serza here for QC Kinetics. We're in the most active season of the year right now. But if you have joint pain that you can't live with like you want to, hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, sucks the fun out of living. But I've got fantastic news. QC Kinetics is helping people. Here, get their fun back with advanced regenerative treatments for local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going right now. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissues in your joints, giving you real lasting relief for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in the cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about the regenerative medicine and get a totally free in-office consultation. Call 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product gives you a custom high-quality appearance and the longest-lasting finish at a more affordable price. So for your garage, home, or business, research the difference between 100% solids epoxy and the products like polyurea, which can be kinda fishy. Our epoxy includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your North Florida epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at northfloridaepoxyfloors.com.
The 9 after 5 keeps rolling at Southampton. Joe C. inviting you to jump on the tee every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Just call 287-PLAY and sign up. We'll give you a little time after work to get there. Always a fun 9-hole game. Chef Gary preparing something nice for afterwards. Prizes and more than anything else. Playing golf with buds and having some suds after. It's the 9 after 5 every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee with Joe C.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Let's have lunch with Leon.
When you're NFL players, you do a lot of dumb things.
Former Jacksonville Pro Bowler Leon Searcy is serving up lunch on XL Primetime.
Brought to you by Wingstop. Weekdays from noon till 1:30 on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Now. Yellow. Another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The NBA Draft comes up Thursday night. Of course, the Orlando Magic have the #1 pick in the draft. The fourth time in franchise history, Orlando will be selecting first overall. Mark Wise does a terrific job all over the ESPN family of networks with college basketball, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Hack. I'm, enjoying this summer. I'm anxious, like everybody else, to watch the draft on Thursday night. I think there's going to be, obviously, some last-minute drama. That seems to always happen at the NBA draft. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm anxious to see that some of these players that I've been covering for the last 2 or 3 years, where they might end up in terms of the draft.
Mark, it looks like there's a serious debate going on between Jabari Smith and between Chet Holmgren of Auburn for Smith, of course, Holmgren from Gonzaga. Let's talk about both guys briefly before we get your thoughts on what you would do if you were Orlando. Is there a compare and contrast you can give your expectations for Smith versus Holmgren as far as their pro potential?
Well, I mean, let's work backwards. You and I were talking earlier in the week, and we mentioned, or I think you brought up the Porzingis comparison to Holmgren, and that's not to say that Holmgren is ever going to be Porzingis. And for my way of thinking, because of the way he plays, I think Jabari Smith reminds me, he's the closest thing to Kevin Durant that I've seen, because he has that kind of build. As a big guy, he has that kind of fadeaway, soft jumper, excellent shooter for a guy his size. So in my way of thinking, I think if Smith is more ready to help immediate, I don't think you can go wrong with either guy in terms of the uniqueness of a Holmgren. But I said back in February, I thought Jabari Smith was the best player I had seen in terms of the draft. Nothing is going to change my mind on that between now and then.
It looks like Orlando is going Smith. Every 10 mock drafts you see, probably 7 or 8 of them have Jabari Smith going to Orlando. If Jabari Smith does indeed go to Orlando, I mean, what is he in the NBA, Mark? Is he a power forward, a small forward, could even play the 5 in certain instances? How do you see Jabari Smith's game translating to the NBA?
Well, just remember that what us old timers referred to as 3, 4s, and 5s really doesn't exist in the NBA anymore. There won't be that many 5 men back to the basket taking in this draft or in any draft. And it's interesting to me because as I read and as I watch video of players and I read things, and whenever I read an evaluation can't shoot, well, to me, in today's NBA, if you can't shoot, you can't play, period. I don't care how good you are, how good of a defender you are. So from that standpoint, I like what Smith brings to the table. I think he'd be an excellent 3 or 4 in my way of thinking. He can play the wing, let's put it that way. He's not ready to play the 5-man in terms of his build and body, but neither is Holmgren for that matter. So I think they'll both be perimeter guys, especially early on, until they maybe add some bulk.
You know, it works out beautifully for the Magic, Mark. If you look at their roster, again, Mark Wise here with us. If you look at their roster from Cole Anthony to Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Markelle Fultz, they got a really deep, good, young backcourt. Where they're lacking is in the front court. Mo Bamba's a free agent. I like what I've seen out of Wendell Carter. Jonathan Isaac, who knows? I mean, he hasn't played since the bubble and at Walt Disney World. That's an interesting situation there. So of all years to have the number 1 pick and to have a 6'10 Jabari Smith or a 7'1 Chet Holmgren, it appears that it's working out pretty well for Orlando.
Yeah, it's good timing. It's a good year to win the lottery if you want to think of it in those terms. But I really think the top 3 are almost interchangeable. I think most people have Banchero a little bit below the top 2 in terms of Smith and Holmgren. But everybody has those 3 in the first 3. And I don't see it going any different unless a trade comes into play. In terms of the Magic, I think, since we're saying that it doesn't really matter which one of these guys you get at the top, I think what's more important for the Magic is what they do with those first 2 early picks in the second round. What is it? I think 32nd and 35th, I believe.
I believe that's correct. Yep.
Mistaken. So just outside the first round, it'll be interesting to see what direction, who might be available at that point in time. One of the guys that I'm seeing whose name is in that window is Andrew Nembhard, that people will remember from playing at Florida in terms of a 6'4", 6'5" point guard, true point guard with great IQ, great vision, great passer. very low release on his shot, which will come into play at the next level. Not a great athlete. But if you're picking in the second round, aren't you taking guys with maybe a question mark here or there? So I would expect one of those two, 32 or 35, to be in the backcourt and one to be in the front court.
Mark Wise of the ESPN family of networks here with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Mark, when it comes to Chet Holmgren, the one thing that people knock him about is he's 7 foot, $195, and he looks it. He is a very, very skinny young man. But then I've been told this, and I went back and watched a video. When Giannis came over from Europe and was drafted by Milwaukee, very similar. Giannis today was not Giannis 8 years ago. Do you see Chet Holmgren, his body at least, filling out kind of like Greek Freaks did there in Milwaukee?
I think he's got tremendous upside, and because of that very thing. What he does, you can add a guy, you can add bulk to a guy, you can add muscle to a guy. What you really can't add is the skill level. And this guy has got a unique set of skills. He doesn't move that bad. I mean, he's not what I would call a lumbering 7-footer by any stretch. He just gets a little bit off balance at times because of that skinny frame. But his skill set is the reason why he is where he is in the draft.
Mark, this is the fourth time Orlando has had the number 1 pick. 1992, they took Shaquille O'Neal. 93, Chris Webber, which turned into Penny Hardaway. And then in 2004, Dwight Howard. So, look, if they draft Jabari Smith on Thursday night, I'm not going to put expectations on the young man to be the next Penny or Dwight or Shaq. Having said that, when you are drafted number 1, there are expectations that accompany that. Is Jabari Smith, in your opinion, a potential multi-time All-Star in the NBA?
Absolutely. Without any doubt in my mind. He plays hard on both ends. He's got good wingspan. He's learning the game. The shooting is elite. I mean, elite for a guy his size. So he plays hard. He's from everything that I've been around, and I had Auburn twice last year, and from everybody that you talked to at Auburn, high character guy. He's what you want. So yes, I see him as averaging 18 starting opening night next year.
Is this a 3-person draft, Mark? I mean, after you get past Smith, Holmgren, and Banchero, you see Ivy is probably the 4th guy, and then people fall into line. But is there a clear dip after the first 3?
I don't know. I think it depends on your needs after that first 3, I believe. And so, it'll be interesting to see if, I know I think it's Indiana who has the 6th pick. It'll be interesting to see if Ivy and Murray go at 4 and 5, what direction Indiana goes in. I think there are a couple of big question marks about the draft in terms of personnel, like Shaedon Sharpe. How do you evaluate Shaedon Sharpe, the guy who reclassified, hasn't played since high school days, went to Kentucky, ended up not playing, and yet I think everybody's got him 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. What you don't want, and this is interesting because if we had talked about this, Hacker, in the beginning of the year, one of the names that was a lottery pick, a absolute given, was Patrick Baldwin, the 6'8", 6'9", who opted to go play for his dad at Milwaukee, played injured. As a matter of fact, played in the Exact Arena against Florida.
Yeah.
And had a very disappointing year. And so you basically see him in the very low reaches of the first round. So that's kind of the highs and lows of the draft in terms of a Shaedon Sharpe versus a Patrick Baldwin. I'll give you a player you have not heard much about that is skyrocketing into the draft, and that is Jalen Williams. Not the Jalen Williams from Arkansas, the Jalen Williams from Santa Clara, 6'6" wing, really gives you a little bit of everything. I think you can plug him in as one of those classic 3-and-D guys. So keep your eye on Patrick Baldwin Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. Look for him to go maybe just outside the lottery.
Mark, final draft-related question, because I want to end with a little Todd Golden talk with you. But the transition from college to the NBA, much different than college football to the NFL, right? I mean, it takes time in the NBA, even more so maybe than the NFL.
Yeah, because in the position that I'll go to is running back in the NFL. I mean, what's the average length of time for a running back in the NFL? Isn't it like somewhere between 3 and 4 years?
Yeah, about 4 years, yep.
And by the time you're 27, aren't you basically, I mean, I hate to sound this way, but aren't you basically done as a running back in the NFL? Well, translate that to the NBA. When you're 27, I think you're just about to start your peak.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that standpoint, yeah, it's a big learning curve. I think that the jump from the NBA, from college to the NBA, is probably, I don't want to say it's greater than the NFL, because I think both are. I'll put it to you this way. I wish every player who thinks they're ready for the NBA could go hang out with an NBA team for a week. What goes on the court, off the court, the competition, the level of play. Same thing with the NFL. These guys have no idea.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Again, Orlando on the clock, the number 1 pick in the draft, in the NBA draft coming up Thursday night. Will it be Jabari Smith? Will it be Chet Holmgren? All right, Mark Wise, let's end with this. Last time we had you on, Todd Golden had convinced Colin Castleton to return to school. That was about 2.5 months ago. Since then, many transfer portal arrivals for the Gators. How have you felt about Todd Golden's first 3 months or so on the job? And what's your expectation, early expectation for Florida in 2022 or 2023?
Well, I won't give you an expectation level just because I haven't seen him play. And remember when you had me on in the spring, and I usually always say this: if you start your ranking with it's too early for, but it's never too early for, or how about an early? It is too early. Stop doing that, especially in this day and age of the transfer portal, because roster management is still going on right now. We saw that this week with North Carolina picking up the big guy from Northwestern. So roster management is completely different. So from that standpoint, I can evaluate Todd Golden early in terms of roster management. And what I think they've done, whether you're talking about Kyle Lofton from St. Bonaventure, Bonham from BMI, Fudge from LSU, I think they've upgraded the roster. I don't think there's any question about that. Now, when you upgrade the roster, does that mean you're going to win more games? No, not necessarily. But when you combine the return of Castleton with the other returning players and mix in the pieces that they've mixed in, I think they've got an upgraded roster. Now, they have to learn a new system. They're all playing for a new coach, new coaching staff. The schedule hasn't been released, but I would expect it to be the same kind of schedule that Florida usually plays. So they're going to get tested in the non-conference. So all those things have yet to play out. But I'll have a better sense, come the 1st of October when I'll sneak over and watch them practice.
You get Mark Wise all over the ESPN family of networks during college basketball season. He is certainly our guy on 1010XL when it comes to college hoops. Mark, always enjoy the conversation, brother. Thank you very much, and we'll do it again real soon.
All right, thanks, Hecker, and thanks again for having me on. Have a great summer.
Always love talking with Mark Wise. The NBA draft tomorrow night. Again, as an Orlando fan, I'm hoping it's Jabari Smith. I believe it is going to be Jabari Smith. I wouldn't lose sleep if it was Chet Holmgren. I just think there is something special about that young man from Auburn and Jabari Smith, and I would love to see him in an Orlando Magic uniform. The AFC West is where we are this week in our division previews. We're already halfway through the league. We've previewed both Eastern divisions, both Northern divisions. This week it's all about the West. We've already been to Kansas City. We will go to Las Vegas, and we will go to Denver. Tonight, it's about Los Angeles, the Chargers. Are you kidding me? Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, re-signing Mike Williams. it has been quite the offseason in the AFC West and quite the offseason for the LA Chargers. Let's go to Los Angeles. My friend Gilbert Manzano of the Orange County Register and the LA Daily News. Where do the Chargers, where does Justin Herbert fit in to maybe the best division that the NFL has seen in years? And that is the AFC West in 2022. We'll talk Chargers offseason next on I did it. That's a $50 fine on Hacker After Dark.
Second and goal from the 5-yard line.
Hear the voice of the Jaguars, Frank Franchi.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Crowd getting involved.
Afternoons on the Franchi Show.
Victory formation for Jacksonville.
On 1010XL.
When you hear Honda, you think safety, quality, value. Now think fuel economy. Don't settle for anything but the best. We invite you to compare Honda to all other brands. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer. We're dealing.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget, and even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Fire, flood, tornado, hurricane. The damage they can cause to your home is devastating. But there's another disaster that strikes when you least expect it. I'm talking about your own insurance company when they deny your claim. If you believe your homeowner's insurance isn't paying what they should, let the lawyers at Farah & Farah review your policy word for word for free. Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
When it comes to roofing solutions, most homeowners don't know they actually have a big variety of options. At Honest Abe Roofing, they offer a polymer-modified asphalt shingle that is guaranteed for life. This unique product can withstand 130-mile-an-hour winds, baseball-sized hail, plus it's algae-proof and fireproof. For the best roofing products guaranteed for life, choose Honest Abe Roofing, the reliable roofer. Call 341-ROOF or visit honestaberoofing.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
For the month of June, Zero Res has some great discounts on furniture cleaning. Hicken here, how about $35 off a sectional, $25 off a sofa, $20 off a love seat, and $10 off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Hey Dad, cool if I change this?
They may not get each other's music, but they can both get a COVID-19 booster shot. Because the CDC recommends booster shots for people 12 years and older after completion of a primary series. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
First Coast families, join the Jacksonville Sharks Friday, June 24th for Superhero and Education Appreciation Night, as we honor all of our educators and school employees. Let's make some noise as the first 1,500 fans in attendance will receive free inflatable Thunder Sticks. Are you a teacher or school employee? Enjoy a buy one, get one free ticket offer. Call now for tickets, 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Captain Kevin Favor here. School is out and it's time to cash in on all of Tire Outlet's summertime deals. This June, book online and instantly save $10 with discount code SAVEMONEY at checkout. Visit TireOutlet.com to claim your offer today.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
You'll hear Pete Prisco, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports, every Friday on The Frangie Show, brought to you by Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Now. Hello. Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The AFC West is where we stop this week. We will make stops in all 4 AFC West cities. Tonight, it's all about Los Angeles. The Chargers. What an off season for the Chargers, adding 2 perennial All-Pros in J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. Let's talk about the Chargers offseason with my friend Gilbert Manzano of the Orange County Register and the LA Daily News. Gilbert, it's been a while, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back on the show. It has been a while, and the Chargers roster looks very different since the last time we spoke.
There's no question. Last time I talked to you, I was desperate for Mike Williams, and the Chargers vanquished that pretty quick with the franchise tag. That was a no-brainer, right? They were never going to let him get out of there.
Yeah, that was kind of their first of many moves this offseason, and yeah, it was a no-brainer. Mike Williams is beloved by the organization, especially the GM. The GM took a chance on him in 2017, taking him number 7 overall before Patrick Mahomes, so that tells you a lot right there. And not just the drafts that he proved himself, especially in the big games, the big moments. I know Mike Williams is not the best wide receiver in the NFL, but when it comes to crunch time, his production, his performances might say he's up there as the best wide receiver in the fourth quarter. So if you could deliver in the fourth quarter and you have chemistry with the young franchise quarterback Justin Herbert, the team definitely wanted him around because of those two things. And we'll see how it goes for the next 3 years on the contract.
Gilbert, I want to get into the new big defensive acquisitions, but I want to start with Herbert. The guy is incredible. There is no question about that. But he's had 2 incredible rookie seasons and has not, or 2 incredible seasons to begin his career, rookie and second year, and has not made the postseason yet. You combine that with seeing what Joe Burrow did last year from the same draft class. It sounds crazy to say, but is there any pressure on Justin Herbert coming into year 3 to make the postseason?
I guess, the people on the outside of the team, put pressure on it, especially because what Joe Burrow did, the same rookie class, and he went to the Super Bowl, and you're thinking, well, who's better, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert? And people are going to debate that all day. And because Burrow won the Super Bowl, people are kind of giving him the edge on that because of the winning. But if you ask Justin Herbert, the tough thing about covering Justin Herbert, it's fun to cover him on the field, but in the press conferences, he's pretty, straightforward. He's like, hey, I don't really care about what people say. I'm not really into social media. I don't watch TV. He's kind of this old soul in a 24-year-old body from Eugene, Oregon, and I believe him. Nothing really phases him. He was talking the other day about he's disappointed that the summer break is here because he likes football. He's always locked in watching film with teammates. So I don't think he cares or he's aware of the pressure, especially for this year 3, not just to get to the playoffs. People are calling him the favorite to win the MVP. It seems like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert are fighting for the MVP already for the preseason rankings. But in terms of pressure, this guy doesn't feel it. That's why he's done so well his first 2 years, because he's so well prepared. He's constantly watching film, and he doesn't really care about the outside noise. So when you have those two things, when you're as a quarterback, usually it leads to good results. So I don't think he cares about the pressure, but I think some of his teammates kind of hear the noise a little bit, and I think it's still a little early. I know people are saying, well, look at Matthew Stafford. He never made the playoffs, and he finally did it, and he got his due. But Justin Herbert's still years away from that stats because it's only year 3. So, but I know I spoke to Cal Van Noy, one of the newcomers for the Chargers. He said, yeah, I hear people saying that Herbert's not top 5 because he can't make the playoffs. Well, that's going to change this year. So the performance, the stats, everything he does on the field says he's a top 5 quarterback. He's just missing that postseason appearance, and they could have had it a year ago. They would have beaten the Raiders. So it was a disappointment for football fans not to see Herbert in the playoffs, but it looks like they're might be headed there this year.
Gilbert Manzano of the Orange County Register and the LA Daily News here with us. AFC West preview tonight. It's all about the Los Angeles Chargers. On the offensive side of the ball, Gilbert, the Chargers paid a lot of money on defense this offseason. What, if anything, did they do? We mentioned they brought back Mike Williams. Does the offense look different? On the outside point of view, it still looks like Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams are still going to be the big 3 there.
Yeah, it looks very similar to last year, and and that's not a surprise because they did so well in terms of scoring points, being efficient, racking up yards. I think they were like top 5 in DVOA for the analytics crowd. So when you have that as an offense, you tend to bring people back. The same coordinator too, Joe Lombardi. So a lot of familiar faces. But they added Zion Johnson in the first round of the draft to play right guard, because that was the biggest question mark. What do you do on the right side of the offensive line? Because for many years the offensive line has hindered the Chargers, but they finally made some progress in building a stable offensive line last year when they drafted Rashawn Slater, who became a second-team All-Pro. They signed in free agency center Corey Linsley, who had another Pro Bowl year, and they found a gem in free agency and left guard Matt Filer. But then it was like, okay, what do you do for that right side? And one of the reasons why they didn't make the playoffs last year because Max Crosby was eating up that right side and going after Justin Herbert in that wild Week 18 game against the Raiders. So they answered that with the right guard, but they don't really have a right tackle, an answer right now. They have Storm Norton and Trey Pipkins competing, but those two guys might not be the answers for the long term. So there's a hole there in the right tackle. And yeah, they still have the wide receivers, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and the second-year player emerging. For people who care about fantasy football, you might want to take a flyer on Josh Palmer. He's playing great, but the one thing they're missing at wide receiver is a burner. They don't have a speedster who's consistent. Jalen Guyton will take over that role. He's done it the last couple of years, but he's not a consistent deep threat, and he doesn't take away double teams from Keenan or Mike. So, and when you have Justin Herbert, you want to utilize that strong arm. They don't have a burner, and then they need a second back to help out Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a great all-around pass-catching running back, but he's not really the workhorse back. And they drafted Isaiah Spiller in the 4th round from Texas A&M, so they're hoping that he could be that guy. So it looks familiar, but there's a couple holes still on offense.
Gilbert, there's no question the Chargers offseason was made on the defense. Let's begin with the trade for Khalil Mack. I mean, my goodness. I don't think you're getting Khalil Mack 25-year-old. I mean, obviously he is now 30-plus, but he is still a dynamic edge rusher. You team him up with Joey Bosa, and goodness gracious, they're going to wreak some havoc. I mean, what was the reaction when Khalil Mack became a Los Angeles Charger?
Yeah, that was kind of the first move. We're like, okay, the Chargers are actually going to be serious this year. They want to be contenders. They're acting like it. And in years past, they kind of they signed a couple of veterans or, over the hill, over 30 years old. But they have a big name, and you're thinking, okay, maybe the Chargers might do something. I know Khalil Mack is over 30, but this guy still, like you mentioned, could be an all-pro again. He was hurt a year ago, but those first 7 games, he was still playing pretty high at a high level. And he knows Brandon Staley, the head coach. So that was the first kind of move to say, okay, the Chargers with Joey Bosa, okay, watch out now. They finally have some help for Joey. So I think Khalil Mack was kind of the piece to say the Chargers are going all in. And the rest of the moves they did after that was pretty much, confirming that.
And one of the moves that did confirm that is going to get J.C. Jackson, one of the best defensive backs in the NFL from the New England Patriots. I was pretty surprised that he did not get the tag in New England. He hit the market, and he is now a Los Angeles Charger as well. What does Jackson bring to that Charger secondary?
Yeah, number one lockdown corner, and not just that, somebody to help Derwin James roam the field. A year ago, Derwin James, Brandon Staley said it a lot. Derwin James's numbers are not popping out, but he did so much to kind of patch up the leaks for the coverage and center field and the secondary. And Derwin is a great pass rusher. He's a great guy to be at the line of scrimmage, but he's also great in coverage. So when somebody was getting hurt as in the cornerback room, you need a nickel corner. Derwin James go help out. You want help some on the outside corner. Derwin James go help out. All the free safeties out. Derwin James go help out. Now with J.C. Jackson kind of helping out that cornerback room, you could see what Derwin did as a rookie in 2018 when he was flying all over the field, going after the ball. So yes, J.C. Jackson would take away some guys. The wide receivers. It's going to be interesting week 1 against Davante Adams, the Raiders, and the Chargers. But if J.C. Jackson could hold it down with Asante Samuel Jr., second-year cornerback, emerges, that gives Derwin James plenty of room to do a lot of other things.
Final moments here with Gilbert Manzano of the Orange County Register, also the LA Daily News. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Gilbert, the AFC West was on steroids this offseason. Every day it seemed like a team out there was getting better, whether it was you guys with Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. You mentioned Davante Adams. Oh, by the way, Chandler Jones as well to the Raiders. The Broncos went out and got a future Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They trade Tyreek Hill, but they still have Kelsey. They still have Mahomes. They go get Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I mean, as a guy that covers that division, what were you thinking for about those 2 or 3 weeks there where seemingly every day somebody in the West was getting a perennial all-pro player?
Yeah, it's going to be a gauntlet. These teams are going to be beating each other up. I was thinking, can you get 4 teams into the playoffs? I guess you can with the 7 teams now. That would be all 4. But you could definitely see 3 teams in the playoffs. And the main thing I thought about was, the Chiefs, I think, are still going to be doing well, but now they're not ahead of the field. I think the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers all caught up with the Chiefs. There's still kind of a pecking order, but it's not a big gap like it was the last 5-6 years. I think the Chiefs have won the division 6 years in a row, which is crazy to think about. So it's very competitive now. You take away Tyreek Hill, but the Chiefs got better, and I think in the draft with McDuffie and Karlaftis. So. And they still got the same coaching staff, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and of course they have Patrick Mahomes. So whenever you have that quarterback, you tend to do well. It might be an adjustment, but I think they'll be okay to still, be, the top dog for maybe I don't know how far ahead they are of the pack, but they're still there, I think. And then the Chargers and the Raiders are kind of maybe tied for second. I can't figure out who's better because I really like the Raiders too. People are kind of knocking them, but Derek Carr getting Davante Adams to go with Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, and maybe the offensive line is, could be a little better, but they'll be okay. And they got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. The Broncos obviously have, Russell Wilson and so many wide receivers, but they have a new coaching staff, a young coaching staff with Nathaniel Hackett. So we'll see what happens. But people always ask me to rank them, and it's hard, But I think I still go with the Chiefs up top.
And, of course, the Jaguars get the privilege of playing all 4 in the AFC West this year. So that'll be a heck of a lot of fun for the Jags here in Jacksonville. Well, you just kind of did it, but just for the sake of the conversation, you think the Chargers factor in to the division? And if not, do you see them getting one of those wild card spots?
Yeah, no, they're definitely serious contenders in the division. And I kind of give them, a little bit of an edge over the Raiders and the Broncos because Brandon Staley he got settled in. I know it was a rough, first year, especially with the fourth downs and kind of misjudging it here and there. But I like the culture he built with the Chargers and the belief they have in him. And for year 2, I'm pretty sure he's going to get better feel of how to kind of manage a game. McDaniels hasn't done it in over a decade with the Broncos when he was a first-year head coach over there. But he has experience. And Nathaniel Hackett, he's never been a head coach in the NFL. So I think the Chargers are going to be serious threats to the Chiefs. And they haven't won the division since 2009. That's a very long time. If you want to be a serious Super Bowl contender, you got to win the division. I know sometimes you get in as a wild card, but your road is much easier as winning the division. So I think the Chargers will be there to the end. There's some holes, like I mentioned, on offense earlier, and so many new pieces on defense that you don't know how long it's going to take for them to gel together and mesh. But I think they'll be serious contenders. I definitely see the playoffs, but I'm not sure I could call them the division winners just yet.
Of course, the Jaguars head out to Los Angeles early in the year. I want to say week 3, the 25th of September, where they will take on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Gilbert Manzano is our man out in L.A. when it comes to the Chargers. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. You can check out his work at the Orange County Register and at the L.A. Daily News. Gilbert, enjoyed it, my friend. We'll be talking before that week 3 matchup here in a couple of months.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Ryan.
Summer on the First Coast, the heat, the beach, and Jacksonville Sports Radio, 1010XL.
At Duck Duck Rooter, we understand plumbing issues can be a real inconvenience for your building or business, and we're here to help. We can handle all kinds of plumbing jobs, including broken pipes, clogged drains, line jetting, installing water heaters, and full repipes. Need a camera inspection or a smoke test? Yes, Duck Duck Rooter does that too. Plus, our lift station services include inspections, monitoring, cleaning, and repairs. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Your family can host boys and girls from countries around the world, like Germany, Spain, Italy, Poland, Brazil, and Slovakia, to share your heart and home. Call 800-941-3738.
There's a critical need for all blood types. Please consider donating at a local blood donation center.
The learning experience in Nocatee is raising funds for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the Jacksonville Sharks will donate $5 for every ticket sold. Learn more at jacksharks.com.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjacks.org.
You can play in the golf tournament benefiting the Derek Hatcher Foundation, combating the disease of addiction, August 13th at Eagle Landing Golf Club. Register at derekhatcherfoundation.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. This is the flagship station of the Florida Gators, WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL.
1010XL.
Your home of the Florida Gators.
Around the campfire isn't just where great stories are told, it's where they're made. And at General RV, it's where we've been writing ours since 1962. To celebrate our 60th anniversary, we're giving you the gift of savings. Discover discounts you'll love on our huge selection of RVs. Start writing your next great story during General RV's 60th anniversary sales event this Wednesday through Sunday only at General RV in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, your